So now here we are going to find the multiplicative inverse. So what we are doing is exercise 5.1. Exercise 5.1, and since we have discussed questions up to question number 10 in our school class, so here we are going to start with question number 11. So in 11 what they have told us to do is find the multiplicative inverse of each of the complex number given in the exercises 11 to 13. So in question number 11, so we have a complex number that is 4 minus 3i, and we need to find the multiplicative inverse of 4 minus 3i. So what is that multiplicative inverse? So suppose z is my complex number, then multiplicative inverse of z is nothing but 1 by z. Okay, that's what the multiplicative inverse of a complex number. So I can say that multiplicative inverse of z is 1 by z. So multiplicative inverse of 4 minus 3i is what? It's so easy. So I will write here multiplicative inverse of 4 minus 3i is equal to 1 divided by 4 minus 3i. But the problem comes in here is that for complex number we cannot leave the answer like this. We have to write every single answer in the form of a plus ib. So for that what I need to do is I need to multiply the denominator and numerator with 4 plus 3i to transform the denominator as not a complex number, as a real number. So let us do this one. Now after doing this, multiplying the conjugate of 4 minus 3i. So we will be learning in the next section that the conjugate of a complex number, suppose I have a complex number a plus ib, the conjugate of a plus ib is a minus ib. So basically in order to transform a complex number into a real number, all I need to do is multiply that complex number with its conjugate. So I am multiplying 4 minus 3i with 4 plus 3i. So denominator, what happens is we have done algebraic formulas, right? So it is in the form of a plus b into a minus b. So when I see that formula, I think of a square minus b square. So here a is 4, so I write 4 square and minus 3i whole square. So a square minus b square. Then in the numerator I will just write 4 plus 3i because it's multiplied with 1. So now you see what happens is that 4 plus 3i, here we have 16 minus this one is I square, so we have what? Minus 9. So we are getting what? 4 plus 3i divided by 25. So this will be my answer. Now if I have to write this one as 4 by 25 plus 3 by 25i. So this is it. This is how we find out the multiplicative inverse of a complex number. Let me do another question. Let me do question number 13. So question number 13 is what? It's just minus I in there. So the multiplicative inverse of minus I will be what? I'm just writing the short form of it. Multiplicative inverse of minus I is equal to 1 divided by minus I. Now this minus will just come in front, come in here. So we have 1 by I. Now I cannot write 1 by I. I told you what? The denominator has to be a real. So in order to make it real, I just need to multiply I with the denominator. Because once I multiply I with I, so we get I square, and I square is what? Minus 1. So I will just multiply the denominator with I and the numerator with I. So the numerator becomes what? Minus I divided by I square, and I square is minus 1. So minus minus goes cancelled, so we have I. So this is how we find multiplicative inverse of a complex number. Now the